All right. Well, we will get started. I am so excited. Are you guys like ridiculously excited? I cannot wait. I have not packed either, just like Krista. However, it's going to get done. I'm like the queen overpacker and I just throw everything in a suitcase and I'm like, I can buy anything when I get there. Like,
Yep.
we're going to be in Columbus, there's stores. It will be just fine. But y'all, like there are people who are already there posting like teasers of what Columbus looks like, and Plexus is going to take over Columbus. I've seen street signs, I've seen airport things, and I cannot wait to see Columbus decked out in Plexus. If you guys don't know, I'm from Ohio. So like the fact that it's going to be in Columbus, Ohio is hilarious to me, but it's all the more so exciting because I would go up there to Ohio State University and hang out, and I just can't even imagine all of us up there. So the first thing I want to do is just ask you guys to think about a question. What do you want to get out of convention? Why are you going? What are you looking for when you are there? Okay, I want you to think about that for a minute. When we get off the Zoom, take everything in that we say. Maybe you're going to watch it virtual. I know we have at least one on here that's watching it virtual. What do you want to get out of your experience of convention? What do you want to learn? What do you want to take away? What growth areas do you want to see change? Because what we focus on expands, right? Whenever I want a new car or I get a new car, I suddenly see thousands of those same cars driving, and I don't even care how obscure that car is. Okay, I had a Dodge Nitro at one point. You guys probably don't even know what that is. I saw them all the time because that was the car I had and I thought it was amazing. So if you are focusing on something, you're going to find that. So I want you to get that settled in your heart right off the bat. What do you want out of this experience? And go and find that while you're in Columbus. When we are there, we so desire for Team Revive culture to be there. We want to carry the culture that we have in our hearts. And tonight, our desire is just to kind of take some burden off of your shoulders, let you take some deep breaths, because we are recognizing that you guys probably, some of you, sorry, that is very annoying if you can hear that noise. Some of you guys have probably never been to a corporate event. And so we want to just let you take some breathers, realize this is going to be nothing but amazing. And I really want to be able to take the stress off of you and let you know that I want you to come to convention as yourself. I don't want you to compare yourself to anyone else. I want you to know that there are going to be people who are decked out in everything that you can think of, and there are going to be people who are in t-shirts and jeans. And that's okay. I think that there is wonderful things to be said about coming business appropriate and you want to put yourself together. But if you're like, I feel the most comfortable in a t-shirt and jeans and tennis shoes, and I'm going to learn best that way, then come like that. No matter what the event was, whether it was winner's dinner, whether it was the gala, whether it was the final reception or the welcome reception, there were people in all different types of outfits, all different types of earrings. I remember the first convention legit being nervous about my earrings. I'm like, these girls always have like the best earrings and they're colorful and they're huge. Hence probably where my earring obsession came from. Truthfully, the truth is now told. My first convention, I think I was like, I need every set of earrings possible because these girls always have fantastic earrings. And I've never stopped since then. Okay. So if you're like me and you're like, you want to go buy a bunch of earrings, great. But if you're not, there are plenty of people with no earrings in their ears. Okay. You catch what I'm putting down? You can come just as you are and you will fit right in. So be like yourself. We want to focus on intentionally adding value. I heard this quote on a Zoom the other day, and it said, if you are not intentionally adding value, you are probably unintentionally subtracting value. That hurts, right? So we want to be intentional. I want you guys to take that word to heart tonight and think about intentionality. I want you to intentionally be focused. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I want you to intentionally develop relationships while you're there. I want you to be all in while you're there, but I want you to intentionally add value? Is what you're saying adding value, or is it subtracting value? One of the biggest ways that you can subtract value is by complaining. It's so easy to complain. It's so easy to be in your safe space and complain about this or that. Maybe you think that the line is too long. Well, let's have a perspective. This many people want exactly what you want because it's that good, right? Or maybe this new product isn't what you want. Well, it's thebomb.com, so I don't know how it can't be what you want, but let me promise you, this is a better perspective to have. It's going to open you up to a whole new market of people who do want what that is. Okay? Maybe you think that it's too crowded. Let's think about, well, there's probably 10, 20, I don't know. There's probably a statistic, I bet Deborah knows it, of how many people are going to be in this convention center. That many people think Plexus is amazing. And if you track back 7 years, 5 years, 3 years, we were nowhere near that. So Plexus continues to expand and we get to be a part of that. So prepare ahead, get there early. Know that you want to be there so you have the seat that you want, so that you don't have to stand in as big of a line. Take every opportunity you can to turn your problem into a solution. Another quote that I love is, successful people see opportunity in every problem, while unsuccessful people see problems in every opportunity. There are problems everywhere, but there is also a way to fix that problem. So be a problem solver instead of a problem complainer, okay? So focus on how you can add value to those around you. I don't care if you think that that person is your best friend, they're your upline, they're your sideline, they're your downline. If there's something truly wrong, just do it with the right intention and go to the right person. Okay, what does that mean? Well, you can come to me, Deborah, Krista, if you need something solved, like you don't have your badge or your name is wrong, or there's legitimately something wrong, you don't know the directions. We want to help you. That is not what we're saying at all. But if there is something like a long line, not a parking spot, not a seat to sit in, you feel like you're being left out, there are probably other people feeling just like you. I will just get the elephant out of the room and say, I promise you that there are a lot of people coming to this, possibly all of us, even Krista and myself and Deborah and Chelsea and Brooke and Lane, who are jewels, who are coming to this convention just as nervous as you. Krista is the biggest introvert I've ever met, and she doesn't like to be in crowds like we're about to be in, okay? She will admit that. I don't love crowds. I'm a pastor's wife, yet I'm forced to women's events all the time. It's not my strength. So know that there are other people who probably think they don't know what they want to say. They're uncomfortable. They have weaknesses. So don't pull out their weaknesses. We'll take away all of the gossiping, but know that it doesn't matter what level you are. We're all coming together, ready to become like family, to learn together, to grow together, and better our businesses together. So let me just take that burden off your shoulder and let you know we're all just like one another. We're our own worst critic. And this is going to be amazing. So if you feel like you walk into a session and you are all alone, reach out to us. There are threads all over the place, whether whoever's team you're on, you probably have a thread. Throw in that thread, hey, I'm here by myself and I don't have a seat. Does anybody have a seat too? Or maybe you're the one who goes and grabs, hey, I got 4 seats in section whatever. Hey, I'm going to lunch at Mellow Mushroom. Who wants to join me? Be the person who takes action and know that there are other people in your place feeling like I'm here all alone and I don't know what to do. There are going to be plenty of us there at all different times. We're going to do our best to get together, to sit together. There are different times where people have to be in certain spots because they have stage recognition, or maybe they're doing this or they're doing that. So just know, if you have a question, you can pop it in the chat at any point, but we want that to add value. So you wouldn't want to post something in a chat like, man, I wish everybody would invite me somewhere. That doesn't really add value, right? but you want to post in the chat something like, hey, I just arrived at a convention. Is anybody else here? I'd love to meet up. And say exactly where you are. And we will be able to link arms, help one another find the right spot there. Okay, how many of you guys watch trainings on a daily basis? Okay, I see a couple hands. Hopefully all of you guys are watching trainings on a daily basis. It's always homework. But what you're going to do when you're at this convention is you're going to start seeing those people that you watch on training. Some of you guys might get starstruck or think, oh my gosh, she is so smart. Well, let me just tell you something. They are flattered when you ask for your picture with them. So feel free to ask for your picture with them, but even go another step. Maybe you're in an elevator and right there is Sarah Marble or Sonia Dudley or Bridget Ryan or Christina Williams, right? All of these people who we watch their trainings. Don't be afraid, but what I want you to do right now is think of some questions of, if I got into an elevator with a Jewel who I admire, what is something that I would want to ask them? So then you don't feel like, oh man, I'm getting my foot stuck in my mouth when you're in there. Maybe you're going to ask, what has been your biggest obstacle that you've had to overcome? Maybe you want to ask them something like, what do you feel like was the biggest thing that helped you with momentum on your team? Okay, those are just a couple ones. Start to think about, what would you ask a successful person that you want to be in their shoes? You look up to them, you know that they've done this the right way. How can you do that there? And know that they want to pour into other people and know that they are just like you. Do not compare yourself to them or think, man, I'm just down here. Our one Plexus culture is truly amazing. I don't care if you're brand new and you haven't added one single person, or you're already Ruby or senior Ruby. At the conventions, the goal is to grow one another and to be able to see how we can do it just like them. So let that comparison fuel you. Look around the rooms. I remember being at convention and being struck with the thought of, wow, they've told me that everybody can do this, but now I really believe it, because I see an old man, excuse me for not having, that is a coach who he's done this. I see grandmas who have done this. I see every color of ethnicity who has done this. I've seen young and old, man and woman, right? You catch what I'm saying? You will see this at convention. We will have name tags most likely, and they will say the rank there. And I remember being like at the coffee shop and seeing somebody's name and their rank and being like, huh, I have no idea who that person is. They don't really fit the mold of the trainings I've been watching, and they're a diamond. You're going to see people all around the convention with different ranks on. Pay attention and let that fuel you to be like, if they can do it, I can do this too. And what you are going to learn there are tools to do this. I think one of the most powerful things at the in-person convention is going to be the breakout sessions. Do not skip those breakout sessions. Go to your breakout sessions, because you're going to be able to meet other people who are in the same position as you, and you're going to be learning from people speaking into exactly where you are to show you how to get to the next level. So that's going to be super, super powerful. The other thing, and the last thing before I hand it over to Krista, is be focused. I know that there's going to be a lot of information coming at you, and this is especially if you're online. Make sure that you're watching these things and you're taking notes and you're applying what you're learning. You're really grabbing a hold of what's going on, and act like a student. I don't care if they're talking about IPA and you know all about IPA. Maybe you're going to find a golden nugget. I feel like it's just like reading the Bible. We read the Bible every day and you're like, I've heard this story 1,000 times. Well, sometimes I hear the story of David and Goliath and I get a different golden nugget, right? We've heard it since we were little kids, but then all of a sudden they're talking about it and they're like, man, that hit different this time. So be a student, and also know, I always tell my kids this, okay? So I'm gonna tell this to you too. When we're at church, I'm like, you paying attention and honoring the Lord right now isn't just for you, it's actually for those around you. So when you are in meetings, if you're checked out or you're talking to the person next to you, you're giggling, you're laughing, you're getting up and down 1,000 times, eating all the snacks, I'm not saying that you can't do that in moderation, but what I am saying is, don't be a distraction, because you might not need what's being said right then, but it might hit somebody totally different in that moment. And so you want to carry yourself like a leader in that moment. So I highly encourage every single person to be focused, take the notes that you need to take, and just be a sponge. So when you can get home, you can wring that sponge out and run with everything that you have learned. So I'm going to hand it over to Krista. She's got a couple other things. We said short and sweet, because most of you guys are probably packing like us, or you're really prepared and you're like, nope, I'm going to bed because I'm leaving early in the morning. But we cannot wait to see you. And I'm just so pumped up, but I don't want to take any more time. So I'm going to hand it over to Krista.
Oh my goodness. Raise your hand or put it in the chat. Do you leave tomorrow or Wednesday? And who has packed? We leave tomorrow bright and early, and I have not packed, but I have a lot of things laid out all over this room. So we shall see, and hanging above me here. Also, if any questions come to mind, even if you might think this is a silly question, drop it in the chat for us to answer quick. So good. I'm like so fired up, and this is so helpful. We've never done a Zoom like this before a convention, but I just think it's so helpful as we prepare our hearts and come to it with that much more intentionality, right? I went to my first convention unsure of why I was even going. I just knew it was the right thing to do, that if this was our business and we'd prayed about it, we felt peace. It didn't make sense in the natural, didn't make sense in our finances. Judah was in the hospital and had just started having seizures. Like, I had every excuse known to mankind to not go, but I went with Malachi on my hip for one reason, outside of obedience. I had a question I needed answered. And you know what it was? Lord, am I supposed to be doing this? That was my question. So the first page of my journal is, I just need you to answer. When I make this investment and I trust you in this obedience, and this makes no sense and I'm overwhelmed, I was traveling alone. Like, now I'm used to traveling alone, and actually I really love it. I love getting a hotel room by myself. I like flying alone now, especially for an introvert. I'm like, hallelujah, this is amazing. But at the time, that was not a normal part of my life. I mean, you guys know our story. We had been broke for a decade. So it wasn't like I was just hopping on airplanes every day of the week, right? So I had Mac on my hip, but I had a question. And coming with a question is one of the biggest tips I could give you. Sit down, write it down in your notebook. What question do you need answered? Or maybe you have 5. When you come with a question, even when I like go to a Sunday church service, what I just love coming as if I'm like pulling on like answers, like, Lord, I'm pulling on you to show up. Okay. So I want you to pull on the Lord, even though this is not a church conference. He wants to be with you through this whole thing. And he wants to show you things and reveal things to you and have aha moments, so you come back with the keys that you need for the next season. That's exactly what happened. Was it chaos sometimes? Totally. And there were moments that felt hard, or I felt like I was missing trainings because I had a baby and like, whatever. There was really tricky moments, but he met me there. Beyond that, I met other people. I mean, I had keys that actually sustained me, because I had no idea that the next several months was going to be my very first time to plateau at a rank. And so what I learned there was so necessary for what was next. And then I went to Leaders Retreat and I learned what was so necessary that catapulted us to Ruby that very next month, and then Emerald within the year. Every single time I've made this investment, he has met me there with answers. So that was my first thing I wrote down. Come with questions and come with curiosity. Be watching for the answers. Sit on the edge of your seat, full of anticipation that the Lord's going to meet you there, whether it's a training on a stage or someone you meet on the escalator or in the hallway, walking back to your hotel room. You have no idea. Like, you get to be like a kid in a candy store having no idea where is it going to come from. But I can bet your bottom dollar you're going to come back with tools and keys. Okay. Also have curiosity as to who you will meet. I could tell you a story of every trip I've been on and key relationships that were formed. Addie King, my very first Hawaii trip. And she gave me a nugget about how she was stuck at Emerald longer than any other rank. And it was like the most necessary thing. And I was like, la, 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 don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. Well, sure enough, same thing, stuck in Emerald more than any rank. And I went back to those words all the time. I met Jen Leith at my first Leaders Retreat. My first convention, fresh off the plane, connected with Plexus people. You're going to see Plexus people everywhere. And they helped me get all the way to the hotel and check into registration and became running partners. One was like the exact same rank as me, had been in the same exact time as me. Like, you will meet key people. Even now, when I go to Jewel training, I go as a trainer, yes. But one of the best things is every time I've met Jewels there that I'm learning from, who have ended up even speaking to our team on Zooms, or I've stayed in contact via message, and I've learned so much from them, right? It is such a gift, and it's so fascinating who you might meet. So be on the lookout for those connections and be really intentional about them. It scares me, like meeting Jen Leith, I just stood there. Chad asked the good questions. I probably looked like this. Meeting Eddie King, I was scared out of my mind because I respected her so much, but I knew I had to reach out, approach her, reach out my hand to shake her hand and thank her for the influence that she had had on my life, unbeknownst to her, right? So it might be out of your comfort zone. You might say, that's not my personality. Well, it's not mine either. So we're in it together, okay? Within saying that though, I want to point out, you won't jive with everybody, okay? You might not jive with everyone on Team Revive. Like, we all have different personalities and backgrounds, and that's actually okay. So like, make connections, look for who are the connections that God's making for you, and then be a blessing though to everyone you come in contact with, right? There's going to be some people that you meet that they might need your encouragement. It might not be about what you're going to learn from them, but what you're going to speak into them. Maybe they've never even been around a culture like Team Revive has. Maybe they've come with questions or discouragement, and all of a sudden they're just like pouring it out on you. It's happened several times, and they were divine appointments where I could then pour into them what I've learned through my failures or my mistakes or my discouraging times, or just what might be in my heart, or pray with them right there. So be watching for those encounters as well. Okay, now, if you are not coming to convention, and you're seeing all these things being announced, share it. Like, take some screenshots of other people's stories. Like, you still want to be like posting this on social media. Maybe you're not a Jewel or a Diamond, and you're like, I didn't even taste the new stuff that's coming out. You could still be talking about it and creating just some anticipation and curiosity from your people. You can be talking to all your level ones right now, just saying, hey, heads up, there's something coming. I'm jotting down names of people who might be interested as soon as it comes out. Would you like me to get back to you as soon as the news comes out on Wednesday? So use this to help grow your business. There's something about travel that just makes people very curious. Every time we have traveled, Instagram interest has increased, Facebook increased. So it's just funny. Like, it's like people lean in a little closer. Like, what are they doing now? Where are they going? What's this all about? So take Team Revive culture and take One Plexus culture and bring it to your social media. I promise you, it will make an impact. I remember when we went to Nashville, there was like this after party thingamajig. I don't know how to line dance, and I had never been in a place like that in my life. And it's really not my favorite thing to be in that kind of place. So we didn't last long. And so afterwards, like, I had done like a video or something on Instagram, trying to like stay present, doing my best kind of as I go, right? But afterwards, I got back on real quick, like, so haphazardly. And if you know me at all, like, even having to do Instagram, if there's anyone around, like, it just makes me so nervous. I remember doing it in the hotel and wanted to stay positive about it. So like, it wasn't our thing. We're going to go to get ice cream or something like that. Do you know, I had people reach out to me who that was really significant to them, and it spoke to them, right? So there's people watching you and what you have and what you carry and your interests. We attract like, right? Like attracts like. We attract who we are. That is kind of part of our culture. Our Thursday night get together isn't really line dancing. When Chad and I are like, what do we love doing most? Well, it's worship. And so that's kind of become infused in our team too. So yes, we're having a worship night, and it's open to those who want to come, and you don't have to come, right? It's like this. There's going to be all different things, but it was interesting to me, and it caught me off guard that people are like, I love that you kind of brought us into that process, that wasn't your thing. That really speaks to me, and I really love that. So bring social media into it, but also don't let it consume you. And it's a tricky balance. Like when things are announced, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, I need to message like every single person right now. And you're going to like grab your phone and just be like, la, 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 guess what's coming out right now. And you're going to get, you'll want to be on your team page and then like taking videos of every single thing and a picture of every single slide on it. But it can also be distracting, so enjoy like getting away for a bit. And there'll be a time and place where you can do your IPA and all the things, but don't miss some good training by thinking that you have to say everything to everybody right in that moment. Take some notes. And when you get back to your hotel room, start sending the messages or whatever. So it is like such a delicate balance. It's powerful to keep showing up and bring your audience into it and bring your team into it, but also be really present and embrace the fact that this is a chance to get away from your everyday life and be refreshed and filled up to then come back and pour out, right? What else did I write down? Let me see. I think Morgan mentioned this. Take selfies with people. Anytime you connect with somebody, try to grab a selfie if you can and find out their name. Like maybe you connect with another person like at your same rank or whatever. Take a picture with them. Ask, are they on social media? Have them type in their name. Then once you find them on social media and you send the friend request, screenshot it. Okay, screenshot it. Later, send them a message. It was so good to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Put your selfie into that chat. When convention's over, ask them if they have a written up testimony. How wonderful is it to have this arsenal of testimonies where you can show up on social media and say, this is Susie. We just met in Ohio and hit it off right away. And you guys have to see her testimony. So now they're seeing your face in the picture, which always does more for your audience than some random person that you're just posting a picture of, right? They see you and that you're with this person and that they have a powerful story, okay? You don't have to get all of it from them right that very minute. They're at convention too to learn and grow. So connect, find them on Facebook, take a screenshot, get a selfie with them, and then later continue to form that relationship, okay? I wrote down these last points and then we'll pray and close up. Embrace solitude. There might be times that you do find yourself alone. And if you're not an introvert, that might drive you crazy. Embrace it. As like, there's times where I'm like, even though I'm an introvert, there's certain situations where I don't like to be alone. If I'm walking into a crowd or I have to find a seat or like, if I'm out in public, I don't really love being alone. It's how I refuel. But sometimes I'm like, la, 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 I am awkward, right? But I can embrace those times walking from the convention to the hotel that it's me and Jesus. And I can just talk to him. Embrace the times of solitude, whether it's in your hotel room, or maybe it's only going to be the bathroom because it'll be busy, or walking to and fro places. Embrace those moments to continue dialoguing with the Lord. And even if it means there's a moment where you find yourself sitting alone. I remember going to one of my first Jewel trainings, and the way the seats ended up, I was all by myself in the very back of the room. And initially it was super uncomfortable and my mind was going nutso on me. And I had to pivot and shift it and just thank the Lord that he was seated right next to me. And it doesn't matter. Like I just had to like pivot. We all can pivot, right? In our thoughts and in our words that we speak. Pursue what you desire. If you desire friendships, pursue friendships. If you desire a running mate, pursue getting to know other people. You have no idea if your future best friend is at this convention and you haven't even met them yet. You have no idea if your future running buddy is at this convention and you're going to become jewels together. They're going to become a sideline sister to you. The stories like this are endless. My first Jewel training, Jen Leith hooked me and Bree and Alita. She just had a feeling we'd bond. Alita and Bree especially became running mates. Jen Leith has become a mentor and like a plexus mama to me and a big sister to me, right? And she just saw that would be a good fit. You have no idea who you're going to meet and connect with and grow with coming out of this time. Choose joy. Laugh at any troubles that might come your way. If you get stuck in traffic or you have a crazy Uber ride or whatever, right? Whatever might come, choose joy and choose to laugh at all that might happen. Remember that life is an adventure. Know that I'm like in it with you, right? Have you ever left a conversation and afterward you're like, oh, Krista, watch your words, right? I have. It drives me bonkers. I want to do better and be better. I was reading this earlier. Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. My kids gave me this for Mother's Day or birthday or something. It's a little bit bigger and it has like 4 translations. And I love it. I think it's the coolest thing ever. But I like how this is worded here. If I can find it, do not let unwholesome, which for me, I go right to like bad words. Don't let any unwholesome, but it has here in parentheses, foul or profane or worthless words. I think too often we just get comfortable, like Morgan was talking about, and sometimes what comes out of our mouth afterwards are like, that was just worthless. It didn't carry anything that helped anybody. And so maybe you taste something while you're there and you're like, oh, this is disgusting. Do you know what you could say instead? Wow, this is super interesting. What a fascinating flavor. Like, make a game out of it, right? Like, I remember someone saying that they're like, they didn't think babies were cute, but they also didn't want to lie and say, oh, what a cute baby. So do you know what they say? They go, that's a baby. That is a baby. You can do the same. You can do the same. Okay. So I know when even what is about to be announced, when they were first revealing it to the Diamonds, I wasn't catching on. And I was kind of like, interesting. Like, I was just like, really? Halfway in, I was like, oh my goodness, mind blown. Okay. Now, pressure's on because you're going to be hearing all the things with people all around you. You have no time for stink eyes or like any of it. Like you can't do that, but you could go like, this is fascinating. Like, this is so interesting. Whoa, I didn't anticipate this. Have you ever had like these spoilers come out and you think you know what's coming out and then it's like not at all what you expected? But you can just say like, whoa, that's not what I was expected. All right, it's not what I was expecting, right? Make a game out of it. Let's hold each other accountable because I'm in this with you. I just want to be better at this. And I also really care about this company and I can kind of like be protective of like, ain't nobody nowhere needs to be saying nothing about this company that has completely changed my life. And there's just not space for it. And sometimes not even grace for it. I'm like, no. And do you know this isn't a contest to be the best tasting baked goods at a bakery? These are supplements. At least they don't taste like dirt. Like, right? Like we're not trying to open a bakery of like sugary amazingness. They're supplements. I was fascinated that it didn't taste like dirt. I was like, okay, cool. I can do this. So hold each other accountable, make a game out of it. Let everything that comes out of our mouth be so wholesome. Have you ever been around your children and you felt protective over what's going into their hearts and into their eyes and into their ears? There are people coming that they're brand new, fresh out of the gate, baby excitement. Protect them, right? I want to come around each of them, be like, let me cover your ears and protect you, like, and protect this new fresh fire in you and protect yourself. If you're around the negativity, you can walk away. Or you can help steer the direction. We've been around people that did it so well. We went to this dinner that the conversation kind of went like this. And a lady that I just highly respect, this is like 15 years ago, and Chad and I still refer back to her like, we want to be like her. She's ever so graciously steered the conversation back the other way. And it wasn't like offensive. It was so honorable. And I want to be like that. Okay. I'm so proud of the culture we have on Team Revive. It's something that not only are we aware of as a team, but it's been acknowledged by others outside of our team. And you might even find yourself at times realizing here, like we have something so special and so unique. And with that, we also have a duty to like uphold it and protect it and continue to grow it. I feel like even when if my kids borrow my car, it says Plexus on the back. I'm like, you better drive that much better because you're representing a company now, not just the Deary name, right? But I feel that way when I go here. I'm representing the Deary name. I want to represent our company well in the restaurants we go to, right? If you see people that work at the convention center, work in your hotel, or cleaning your hotel room, like even leave them a note or a tip or something. Everyone that you're interacting with, you want that whole town saying, who is this company? Who are these people? I've never seen anything like this, and I want to do what they are doing. So you're representing your name, you're representing our company, and many of us are representing the kingdom. So how can we show up in the most kingdom-minded way? If Jesus was coming to this convention, how would he show up? We know he'd show up in humility, not needing anyone to know his name, not needing to be flashy, right? And he'd show up to bring about change in everyone he interacted with such love and such grace and such tenderness, and that everyone that was around him left better. I'm in that journey with you, but I'm just excited to like link arms and go into convention, not just even for what it can bring for us, but what we can bring as a team and as a culture to the culture of Team Revive and to the culture of Plexus and to our company and to this convention. Let's close in prayer and go pack. Deal? We just thank you, Lord, for the way that you have so sovereignly brought us to this place. I am fascinated that you even like that we do network marketing, let alone the way you keep showing up and the friendships you've birthed here and all that we've learned and the way it has caused such a lean and a dependency on you, the way it shapes and it refines us. And God, I just pray that this time that we get away to learn and to grow, that you would reveal to each of our hearts the things that we need to take home, that we would chew up the hay and spit out the sticks, that we'd recognize, okay, these are the things that, no, this is not what the Lord is saying for me or for my family or for our time management or for our business, but that we'd grab hold of the things that need to be refined or shaped or corrected, the changes that we need to make, that you reveal to our hearts those next steps that we need to do for all that you're calling us to be and to do. I pray safety over all of our cars and airplanes as we travel and make our way there. I plead the blood of Jesus over every family, over every marriage, over maybe spouses and kids that might be staying back. And I just ask that you would just make yourself known in a really powerful and unexpected and precious way to each of us this week. In Jesus' name, amen. Did I miss questions, you guys, before we sign out? Becky, you want to connect with Jen? You've got to just hunt her down, hug her real tight. She'll love connecting with you. All right, we good? See you guys soon. Love y'all. So proud of you. The decisions you've made, virtual and in person. It's going to be worth it. And I just love you to pieces. Sleep tight. See you guys.